You're watching SNN, the Suncoast News Network, your local news leader.
And now to Alec Murdaugh, who has been sentenced to life in prison after a jury found the former South Carolina attorney guilty of murdering his wife and his son. 3 of the jurors who determined his fate are speaking out for the first time. Katie Beck has more.
This morning, Alec Murdaugh is behind bars. Seen here in this new mugshot with a shaved head, the former attorney begins serving 2 consecutive life sentences for double murder.
I agree with the life. There's no joy in any court proceeding, but I think there's relief that the right decision was made.
Murdaugh found guilty on all charges for killing his wife Maggie and son Paul on the family's sprawling estate in 2021.
And I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the night times when you're attempting to go to sleep. I'm sure they come and visit you. I'm sure.
Judge Newman, who had reserved comment during the dramatic 6-week trial, speaking candidly Friday, telling Murdaugh,
well, and it might not have been you. It might have been the monster you become when you take 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 opioid pills.
He went to a detox facility after Christmas.
Buster Murdaugh, who testified that his father struggled with addiction, seen for the first time publicly over the weekend in these Daily Mail photos, walking dogs in Hilton Head. Questions still remain about the Murdaugh family and potential connections to other unsolved deaths. Murdaugh is also facing some 100 charges for financial crimes, including stealing millions from his former law firm and clients.
Was I also stealing money that I shouldn't have? Yes, sir.
The jurors in the case visited Murdaugh's hunting property where the murders happened and were presented with mountains of evidence, including a cell phone video that was perhaps the most pivotal. The video filmed on Paul's phone at the dog kennels where Alec's voice is heard in the background, along with Maggie and Paul, just minutes before their murders.
Got a bird in his mouth!
Murdaugh had repeatedly told authorities he wasn't there that night, but on the stand admitted the lie.
I did lie to them.
Now, one of the jurors said that Paul's kennel video was key to proving Murdaugh's guilt. Some scary moments aboard a Southwest flight from Havana, Cuba on Sunday. Shortly after takeoff, birds collided with the plane's nose and one of the engines. That triggered a small fire and smoke began to fill the cabin. Steven Rodriguez was a passenger on board. He took this video. Rodriguez told a South Florida news station his eyes and chest started to burn from the smoke. Other passengers said it was hard to breathe and oxygen masks were deployed. The pilot quickly turned the plane around and landed it back at Havana's airport. Passengers evacuated the plane using emergency sliders. 153 passengers and crew were on board the flight. No one was seriously hurt, and they were rebooked on a different flight to their destination of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The downtown St. Sarasota Blues Festival came to J.D. Hamill Park this weekend. The event was produced by Paragon Festivals and featured several different barbecue and meat dishes, along with vegetarian and seafood options. There were live performances to watch or listen to you as you enjoyed a meal or simply shopped around. Vendors for fine arts, crafts, food, and more came out for the event. For some repeat vendors, customers traveled from different parts of Florida just for their products.
So somebody comes in, they might get 3 cookies. They come back and they buy a dozen because they enjoyed them so well. For us, we're fortunate to have a very good product. People come back out. Just last evening, I had a couple come down from Tampa. They came down to get buckets of cookies and they took them back home.
Hundreds of people attended the festival and admission was completely free. Disneyland says a lyric from one of Disney's most controversial movies will no longer be heard in a parade. The theme park lyric says zippity-doo-dah has been removed from its Magic Happens parade. The lyric comes from the 1946 movie Song of the South, which has been criticized for its portrayal of black people and the post-Civil War South. The lyric debuted in the park parade back in March of 2020, but was put on hiatus for nearly 3 years due to the pandemic. It was just recently reintroduced last month. Now, a pair of threequels did battle at the weekend box office, and it was a first-round knockout for Creed III, the latest in the boxing franchise. The directorial debut of star Michael B. Jordan exceeded expectations, opening with $58.7 million. That meant Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania lost the top spot in its third weekend, but its $12.5 million gave the Marvel movie a domestic total of $187 million to date. And the Indianapolis Zoo has a birth announcement. 16-year-old African elephant Zahara is pregnant. Zahara was born through artificial insemination, and her elephant calf was conceived in the same manner. The baby calf is expected to arrive in October of this year. The calf will be the first calf in the world to be born through artificial insemination to a mother who was also born from the same procedure. Well, coming up on the evening edition of SNN, Chief Meteorologist Justin Mosley with your complete Weather Authority forecast.